treat it. So I'll give you an example. So as a lady, you should know things like your health statistics, like your weight, your height, your genotype, your blood group. Also things like vaccinations, your vaccination status, vaccinations for different kind of conditions. You should also be at the top of that as well. So when I talk about knowledge, I'm talking about know yourself. If you start observing changes in your body, you would be able to detect it. You know the kind of smell that should come out from your body. I know the kind of discharges that you should have at different times in your cycle. All right, so that's what I mean by not knowledge. I'm not going to have the time to go into minute details, but when it comes to knowledge, you need to, when it comes to feminine hygiene, you need to know what is normal, so that whenever something normal, you will be able to detect it and you can appropriately and deal with it as you should. That is what I mean by knowledge. Second point, which is triggers. What I mean by triggers, triggers for your hygiene. For example, if you don't shower yourself regularly, that is a trigger for something. So you won't feel comfortable to start with. You will notice odor secondly. And then that's an invitation for infections and itchiness and different kind of rash and all of that. So you want to actually understand that this is actually a trigger that will distort your personal hygiene, that will distort your feminine hygiene. So triggers is all about knowing what would actually, for example, what kind of food do you eat that will actually distort your body, distort how you feel or how you smell even. All right. So eating healthy is actually very important and it contributes to our health. It contributes to feminine hygiene. Some people tell you if you eat this, if you eat that, you have a very nice smell from your vagina and all of those things, right? So as a person or as a lady, you should also understand there's some foods that you eat, you become so puffed up. It's like your body starts retaining fluid instead of bringing them out through your urine, sweat, and a lot of that. But if you eat those food, they hold on to the water in your body and then you feel very heavy. You feel it affects you overall. So the triggers, what are those external things? Or sometimes even mentally, psychologically as well. What are those things that are triggers that actually shifts you from being healthy as a lady to being unhealthy? So you need to mark your triggers because they're very important for your well-being, for you maintaining your overall health, including your well-being as a woman, your reproductive health as well. There's so many things that goes on within our body with hormones month in and month out, and there's so many things that comes into our bodies that affect those hormones. There's so many things that comes into our minds as well, our stress level and all of that. These are triggers that changes our body system, and before you know, there's one rash around here, you don't know what is causing it and all that, and then you meet a specialist, they tell you maybe it's stress or your cycle just changes and maybe it's stress as well. Take note of the triggers and the things that distorts your well-being so that you can do things that will ensure that you are balanced at each point in time, that you are healthy at each point in time. The next thing I'm going to talk about is routines. So as a lady, you need to keep the routines that keeps you healthy, the routines that keeps you hygienic, the routines that keeps you fresh. Eating healthy food, routine exercises. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, maybe by reason of your job, make sure that you're taking walks. Walks are very important. More than ever before, walks are being emphasized. People tell you they take 10,000 steps a day. They are trying to see and keep watch of how many steps they've taken and keep up with it. It's a deal. It helps your gut health. It helps your muscles. It helps your mindset is refreshed and all of that. You feel light. You feel ready. Your regular bath, your regular any particular reason to actually go and do routine checkups and do that as well. So keeping routines, like a lot of people who have this mindset that, for example, when it comes to washing their vulva, that they have to use washing the vagina, use soaps, or they have to use scented. There's so many feminine products out there to douche and all of that. So there's no need to douche because the vagina is self-cleansing. You have to wash, right? When you take your bath, when you have a shower, you have to make sure that you wash and wash well. I remember when I in primary school. That was when one of my female teachers, she was like, when you want to wash your vulva, you must bend down and wash properly. It's actually important to wash properly because sweat hangs around there, and when the normal flora on our skin and the normal flora in the vagina, when that area changes because of sweat, when it's moist and all of those flora, they then start becoming infectious. That's why itchiness, you get itchy because there is a change in that environment. And also you want to use underwears that are cotton based, because you don't want to, if you use things like materials or fabrics like nylon, you become so sweaty. The normal flora on your skin, the normal flora in your vagina, they change in that environment, and then they become harmful instead of being a normal flora and do the normal thing it's supposed to do there. So you have to keep you healthy, eat healthy, do your exercise, make sure that you're not sedentary. If you have a sedentary lifestyle, walk or go to the gym. These things are actually becoming very, a lot of people are opening up to these things because yes, they are beneficial. And make sure that you're doing the tests that you should do regularly. Go for them and do them as well. Go to the next point, and this is where I'll talk about it. So you now know and understand yourself, and you are now abiding by the routine, or you are now following a routine that helps you. So the next thing is, if you notice that there is care and attention, there's something that treatment, do not ignore them. Do not ignore those things. Get the needed care. Speak to someone that might have knowledge about it. One of the reasons why I like the internet, right? People are talking about their personal experiences. The things that in the don't talk about this thing in public, or the things that people will guess. These days, a lot of people, we are now in the era of we don't judge. So a lot of people are coming out to talk about their personal experiences. You see people online that are HIV positive, they talk about it with all boldness, and they educate people, they take people through journeys, and we're able to see how it really is to live with HIV. Or a lot of people that have PCOS, endometriosis, they take journeys and we're able to see how it is, and people get to know about even more. And most of these things, when it comes to health or feminine health, most of these things are not talked about openly enough. So the advantage that we now have of the internet, where people are now vulnerable enough to talk about it, is discover different things that people have tried and all of it, take care of themselves. We get to hear that and relate, because they're like, oh, so they're having these symptoms, so it means they might have this, and then it triggers them, and for investigations, get investigated, and find support groups. If you have arrived at a diagnosis and you think, oh, this is so overwhelming, you haven't seen anybody who has gone through this, a lot of people cannot relate. Being part of a community, being part of a spiritual community is also very, very important as well, because you rub minds together, and iron will sharpen iron as well. The burden is taken off your shoulder, it is lighter. So care and treatment. So do not ignore symptoms. Dig into what is the cause and what is the management of different things that you discover about yourself and about your body as a lady. Lastly, I'm going to sexual hygiene. So sexual hygiene, I'm going to use the model that we've used earlier to talk about this. So first of all, knowledge. You need to know your sexual state is, you need to know your blood group, your genotype, if you're active, you need to know whether you have STDs, you need to know your blood works, basically. If you're sexually active, know whether your partner is actually, if they know all of these things about themselves as well, and if you're sexual relations with these persons. If you're married, or know that of your partner even before marriage, so that you know what you're getting into. So this is what I mean by sexual hygiene. You want to know that this is my sexual status, blood works, and all of that, and the bed with this is theirs. You are aware of it. They are aware of it. All right. You want to be sure, am I going to bed with this one person, and is this one person with me alone, or do they have other sexual partners that would expose you as well to sexually transmitted infections and every other thing that comes with having multiple sex partners. So this is what I mean by sexual hygiene, because when you have the knowledge of it, you'll be able to, something goes wrong, and you'll be able to follow through with management and care that has to be taken when it comes to that condition or whatever that is. So I really hope that this has given us an what feminine hygiene is all about, and the things that we need to know and do as women to make sure that we're keeping everything at equity. Because of time, I wasn't able to really dig into specifics. I would deal with specifics by reason of through the questions that would be asked. So thank you for joining this session. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the program.
Hey, ladies, good day to you all. I am to be here speaking to the most powerful force in any society, men with dreams. My name is Chinyere Kasakwe. I am an HR professional. I am a brand strategist, and I'm grateful to God that in my journey as an entrepreneur, as a career woman, there's just been a whole lot that I've learned. There has been time where I failed, I learned to do it better, and there have been times where, of course, I did things better. So it's an honor to be here. Whether you're still in school, in a business, or you're just sure, I want you to know that you have everything it takes to build something great. And today I'm going to be talking to us about two things that can change your life. Your business, the importance of business, and and branding. So before we move forward, I would just like to share a story with us. A few years ago, there was this young lady. Um, she was named Amaka. Okay, so she lived in a town somewhere in Delta State, Nigeria, and natural help. Amaka, her journey from low court, and she's that works really amazing for her, and I saw her turn that into a business. This girl literally started that business with about 5,000 naira. Buying small containers, labeling them by hand. She sold to her friends. That was, how she was clean, she was professional, and like just about hair, it's about helping women feel comfortable in so far late so that she first time even get kids and women forward to girls how the business and take your business seriously. It's not just about big. For Amaka, I think what I saw was she started small, treated her work as a calling, and she stayed consistent. So the question is, why does business matter? So for a lot of people, I know business is all about making money, okay? But I'll tell you that business is not just about making money, it's about creating value. So just think about it this way. The person who makes your clothes, the person who starts out your hair. That's a business. The person who sells food, builds up, bakes cake, does makeup, sells fabrics, they are all businesses. And a business, business is everywhere, okay? And guess what? You can even be the one creating it. So starting a business allows you to, be your own boss, make money doing what you love, create job for others, and also serve your community and make an impact. Add this to it, okay? Your business is not just about you, okay? For me, I see business as a part of God's plan to meet the needs of others. So when you bake cake, you're feeding someone. When you teach, you're empowering someone. When you sell products, you're solving a problem. So don't lightly that God uses to bless the world, that God uses to meet the needs of others. Treat it with purpose, treat it with passion, treat it with responsibility. It's very important that the things that you do is a calling, is ministry. Now, the thing is, some persons might actually be in the wrong field, okay? And this is why it's important to walk with God. I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this all the time because for me, it has worked and I have helped other people walk through this path of trusting God, knowing what your purpose is, and doing that thing. For a lot of you, the business that you're doing today, God spoke. Because I've actually heard people say things like, God told me to start selling eggs. Why did God tell you to start? Just so you will have money. He wants you to meet people. He wants you to reach your world. He wants you to bless people. So this is actually beyond, beyond making money. If you start seeing your business as a calling, then you will understand and you will take it more seriously. So what you're doing right now, let's take a look at it. How did you? Because I've always heard people say, oh, something told me. I was praying and God told me to do this and do that. Now let's move over to branding. Okay, let's talk about branding. For a lot of people, when we talk about branding, people just say, oh, branding is all about the nice colors, the logos, and all of that. But branding is not just about logos, it's not just about colors. All of these things, make up branding, but branding is your identity. Branding is what people think about you. Branding is what, when people think about you, actually, what do they think about you? What do they say about you? So it's what people think about you when they hear your name. That is branding. So let's even break it down, okay? If I say Coca-Cola in your mind, what if I say Dangote? What comes to your mind? That is branding. So the big question is, what do people think when they hear your name? Are you known for quality? Are you known for excellence, creativity? Business, you already have a brand. Your name is your brand. So build it with care, protect it like gold. Now, when we come to let's business for a product or providing digital service, branding with reason why people trust you, remember you, and recommend you. So here's how to actually build a strong brand. I'm just going to break it down quickly for us. How to build a strong brand. Number one, know your story. You start that business. Let people connect with your passion. Be consistent. Your product, your location, match your values. 3, wisely. Show up professionally. Be value. Number 4, deliver what you promise. That's the fastest way to actually grow a trustworthy brand. If you deliver what you promise, trust me, when you sell to one, that person rings your bell to 10 other people. And these other people, if they can trust you, they are, shouting out your name, announcing your name to others. And lastly, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be authentic, consistent, and excellent. So ladies, this is your time. The world is actually changing. And Nigeria is especially for women who are ready to lead. So no one is going to hand you success, but you can build it. And don't let fear stop you. Don't let society limit you. Don't let your background define your future. Your voice matters. Your ideas matters. Your business matters. So whether you want to sell clothes or whatever it is that you want to do, you want to build an app, you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to become a tech queen, or just do it. One question I would like to ask you is, if time, if money, and people's criticism were not limiting factors, who will you be? What kind of business will you have? Who will you be? What will you do? And what will you have? If people, because these are like the things, oh, I don't have enough people to work with me. I don't have enough money. I'm scared about what people will say about me. So if people, if time, if money and people's criticism, oh, I don't have the time. Have the time. If you have the money and, you're not bothered to do, what will you have? It's a question I want you all to, ask yourself and give yourself answers. So let me leave you with this. Okay, start where you are. Use what you have and do what you can. I'm sure for a lot of you, this is not the first time you're hearing things like this. Okay? But what are you going to make up your mind to do? What are you making up your mind to do even now? You don't have to wait until you're perfect. You don't have to wait until you're rich. Start small, but think big. Think big. The Bible says, I see that He will give to you. So what are you seeing about your business? What are you seeing about your life? Just, take it step by step, grow step by step. And always remember that you are the brand. Is a part of something bigger than you.